So in the previous session, we have discussed about profiles and we have discussed what exactly a profile, what it contains, and what kind of permissions that we can grant to the users through profiles we have discussed. Now, in today's session, we are going to discuss about permission sets. So we have to understand what exactly a permission set, what is the use, what kind of permissions that we can grant to the users through permission sets. We'll see with the practical and how these permission sets are different from profiles. So through profiles, we are able to grant the permissions on all the features. Then what is the significance and need of these permission sets? In what situations we can go with profile? In what situations we can go with permission sets? We can now, in today's session, we'll see with practical. Now, let me explain what is the need of a permission set, what it contains, how it is different from profile. For example, let me go to the concept of profiles. For example, I'm having my Salesforce arc. For example, I have my Salesforce arc. In my Salesforce arc, we are having 5 Salesforce licenses. I have 5 Salesforce licenses in my Salesforce arc. Now tell me, by using these 5 licenses, how many users we can add? 5 users. Because each user should have a separate license. So we have 5 licenses. With these 5 licenses, we can add 5 users. Now, so now we have created a profile. So we have created a profile. This is the profile which I have created. This is the profile. Now I have created the profile with the name some profile 1. Profile 1. So this is the profile which I have created, which will be of type Salesforce license type. Because we are having only Salesforce licenses are available, with that Salesforce license type, I have created one profile. Now tell me this profile can be assigned to how many people? Only one or multiple? Multiple, right. So now the same profile we can assign to multiple users. So I'm creating few users over here. I'm creating the users. I'm creating the users. First one, user 1, and then user 2, and then user 3, and user 4, and user 5. So 5 users we have created. For all these users, we have assigned the same profile. Because one profile can be assigned to multiple people. We don't have any limitation. Like a profile can be assigned to only these many number of users. We don't have any such kind of limitation. We can assign that same profile to multiple users as well. Now, this profile I'm assigning to all the 5 users. Now, for all these 5 users, I'm assigning this the same profile. User 1 and the user 2. This is a user 2, and we have user 3 and user 4 and user 5. These are the 5 users. So now we have one profile, the same profile we have assigned to 5 users. Now that means what? Whatever the permissions I'm granting inside this profile 1, same permissions will be applicable to all the 5 users who are associated with that profile. Okay? Now suppose for example, so now in this profile 1, I have granted few permissions. Like on the account object, I have granted the permission create and read. So these are the two permissions I have granted here. For the account object, I have granted create permission and read permission. That means the people who are associated with this profile, those people can create some account records, they can see their account records. But they can't modify, they can't delete the accounts. Now, in this case, whatever the permissions I have granted inside the profile, same permissions will be applicable to all the users. So, user 1 will be getting this the same permissions on account object. User 2 also will get the same permissions. User 3 also will get the same permissions on account object. User 4 also the same permissions. And the user 5 also the same permissions. So all the users are getting same permissions because all the 5 people are belongs to the same profile. So whatever the permissions that I have enabled inside that profile 1, same permissions are applicable to all the 5 users. Okay. Now my requirement is here for the user 2. Okay, for the user 2, I want to grant some additional permissions also on this account object. On this account object, not only this create and the read, I want to grant the permission of edit comma delete permission. On this particular account object, not only this create and the read, I want to grant edit and delete permission to this user 2 only, not to all the people here. What can I do? For few people inside the profile, I want to grant some additional permissions. Now, can I go back to the profile? Can I specify this edit and delete checkbox also over there? No. Why? It will be applicable to all the people. So I don't want to apply that new permission to all the people. That should be applicable only for a specific user which is associated with this profile. That means what? Whatever the permissions we have granted in the profile level, those permissions I would like to extend. Okay, I would like to extend because profile is granting some set of permissions. So now I want to go beyond the profile level permissions. I want to grant some additional permissions to some specific users. In that case, if you want to grant some additional permissions to a specific user, it may be a single, it may be to the multiple people also. In that case, we are going to be extending the permissions to the user with the help of a feature called as permission set. With the help of permission set. That means I'm granting some additional permissions to the people. I'm extending the profile level permissions here. Now here in this case, permission set it contains what? It contains a collection of permissions. Like as profile, permission set also contains a collection of permissions which can be assigned to one or more users inside the organization. That means we can create a permission set inside your Salesforce, or now in this permission set, we can grant Okay, edit and delete permissions here. But the account object, we can grant this edit permission and the delete permission. Now this permission set we can assign to user 2 also. If requires the same permission set, we can assign to user 4 also. One permission set can be assigned to multiple users as well. No limitations at all here also. Okay, permission set to users one to many. Okay, one to many. One permission set we can assign to multiple people as well. Now, so now here in this case, I want to create a permission set. I'm creating a permission set now. I'm creating a permission set. Permission set 1. In this permission set, I'm granting the permissions on account object. I'm granting edit permission, delete permission. Now, once the permission set has been configured, now this permission set we can assign to the required people. Now I want to assign this permission set to the user 2. So you can assign this permission set to the user 2. Okay, understand the concept over here? Now, so in this case, here you can raise a question. Sir, what exactly this permission set what it contains? Basically, permission set contains a collection of features. Like as profiles, permission set also contains a group of features which can be assigned to one or more number of users. So once the permission set has been configured, this permission set can be assigned to multiple people also if requires. Now, in this case, what kind of permissions we can grant through permission set? Through permission set, we can grant almost all the permissions like as profile. Through the profile, whatever the permissions we are granting, same kind of permissions through permission set also, except two permissions. Except two permissions. First one, login IP ranges. Second one, login hours. These two permissions are not available inside that permission set except these two, login IP ranges and the login hours. Except these two permissions, remaining all the permissions you can grant through permission set as well here. So permission set also same like as profile. So whatever the permissions we are granting through profile, similar kind of permissions we can grant through permission set also, except the two permissions, login hours and the login IP ranges. These two are not possible through permission set. Maybe in upcoming releases, Salesforce will introduce those two permissions also inside the permission set. Why? Because is whatever the profiles we have configured as of now, this profiles topic is going to be retiring from Salesforce from winter 26 release onwards. From winter 26 release onwards. Right now we are using spring 24. Next we are having on June 15th, we are having that summer 24. Then we are having 25 release, like as winter 25, spring 25, summer 25. That means we are having next 4 releases. Now, after that, once come to that, okay, winter 26, profiles topic will not be available in Salesforce. Profile topic is going to be retiring from Salesforce from winter 26 release onwards. No profiles concept from winter 26. So then in that case, what is the replacement? The replacement will be permission sets. Permission sets are the replacement for the profiles. Now, so now here in this case, by using this permission sets, we can grant the permissions on applications, objects, tabs, fields, page layouts, Apex classes, Visual Force pages, everything. Whatever the permissions we are granting through the profile, similar kind of permissions we can grant through permission set also, except the two permissions, that is login IP ranges and the login hours. Now, so now here in this case, let's see. So now we have configured a permission set. Permission set 1 we have prepared. Now this permission set we are going to be assigning to the user to grant some additional permissions over there. That means we are going to be granting some additional permission to this particular user 2. So user 2 will be having some profile level permissions. Those profile level permissions I'm extending with the help of permission set. Okay, understood the concept now? Next. So now here in this case, let's see. For example, the same permission set I want to assign to user 4 also. Can we assign? Yes. The same permission set we can assign to user 4 also. Now I'm assigning this same permission set to user 4 also. But the user 4 also, we are assigning that same permission set. That means one permission set can be assigned to multiple users. Okay, clear? Next. Second point here. Now, for example, for the user 2, I want to grant the permissions on, okay, I want to grant the permissions on hiring manager object with edit permission, delete permission also both. As of now, inside the profile level, okay, for the hiring manager object, we have only read and create permissions are available here. Now, in this hiring manager object. On the hiring manager object, we are having read permission and the create permission. These two permissions are available for hiring manager object inside the profile. Now, my requirement is for this user 4, I want to grant edit permission and delete permission on hiring manager object also. What can I do? Object how? Hmm. In this permission set. Now, if I'm granting the permission set permission, that means in this permission set 1, if I'm granting the permissions of edit and delete on hiring manager object, this permission set has been assigned to whom? Two users, user 2 and the user 4. Both the people will get edit and delete option. But now that additional permission I want to grant only to user 4, not to user 2. Now, in that case, what we can do? Create one more permission set. I'm creating one more permission set right now. This is a permission set 2. So not only one, n number of permission sets that we can create within a single Salesforce org. No limitations at all. This is a permission set 2. There is a permission set 2. Now in this permission set 2, I'm going to be granting the permissions on hiring manager object. For the hiring manager object, I'm granting this edit permission and the delete permission over here. Now, this permission set I would like to assign to the user 4. This permission set I'm assigning to user 4 here. Understood the concept over here? Now tell me in this case here. For one permission set, how many users we can assign? Multiple. Now one user can have how many permission sets now? Multiple here. That means what? Permission sets, whatever the permission sets that we are going to create, all the permission sets information will store in permission set object. Permission set is a standard object in Salesforce which contains all the permission sets information. All the users information will be storing inside an object called as user object. Now, user to permission set, what is the relation? One to many. One user, multiple permission sets. Now, permission set to user, what is the relation? One to many here. Now, this kind of association is called as many to many association. This is called as many to many association. Between user and the permission set object, we are having many to many relation. Because from both the sides, we have one to many relation. User to permission set, one to many. Permission set to user, one to many relation. This kind of implementation is called as many to many association in Salesforce. Now, this can be implemented with the help of a junction object. We are going to be implementing this many to many relation with the help of a junction object that is called as permission set assignment. Permission set assignment is a junction object which indicates which permission set has been assigned to which users, that will be indicating by permission set assignment object, which is called as a junction object. That means it's a connecting object between, okay, user and the permission set. Between the user and the permission set, we are having a junction object here. Let me show you. Let me show you the Salesforce data model so that you can understand. When you go to that Salesforce data models, you will be having this user object and the permission set objects also. Now, let's see. We are having this user object. So these are the Salesforce objects here. This is a background, okay, database architecture of Salesforce. Now, so this is a user object which contains all the users' information. For each user, we can assign a profile also. For each user, we can assign the roles also. For users, we can assign permission sets as well. So all the permission sets information is available in this place. But between these two objects, we don't have any direct connection. We don't have any direct interaction, direct relation between these two objects. We have a relation between these two objects via a junction object here. Now between these two, we have a mediator object here, a connecting object that is called as a permission set assignment. Permission set assignment is a junction object which will be connecting with both a user object and permission set object here. So we have many to many association between these two objects here. Okay. Now tell me in this case, it's 100% common question in every interview, difference between profile and the permission set. How can we define? You know the concept of profile, you know the concept of permission sets as well. Now tell me, so what are the differences that you have observed? Sometimes they will raise a question, difference between role, profile, and the permission set. These are 100% common question. So now, as part of your Salesforce admin part, if they're raising some 20 questions, out of 20 questions, almost 12 questions will be completely from configuration. That means that will be from security concept. Security is a major topic. Almost since last 9 days, we're completely spending the time on security. Now, almost, okay, out of 20, okay, almost will be raising 12 questions. Minimum 60% of the questions are from security concept because it's the base. Now, remaining topics are small, like reports and dashboards, 3 sessions. And then data management, 3 sessions. Formulas, 2 sessions. Like that, these are all of small topics over there. Okay, so now this is a major topic in Salesforce. Now tell me, what is the difference between a profile and a permission set now? Profile? No. One profile can be assigned to multiple users also. The same thing we did. Same profile I have assigned to 5 users.
The profile to user, it's one-to-one relationship.
A
Profile
user
to
can
user, what
have
is the relation?
a user
Profile
can
to
have
user, what is the relation? One to many. Profile to
Many,
user,
one to
one
many
to many
relation.
relation. Because one profile can be assigned to multiple users. Now tell me, for one user, how many profiles we can assign?
One,
One to
only
one.
one.
Because for one user, only one profile. For one user, how many permission sets? Only one?
One to
Many.
many.
Multiple.
One to
Multiple.
many.
This is the relation. Okay. The first difference is by using profile, we can grant a collection of permissions to the users and the features available inside my Salesforce org. Inside my Salesforce org, whatever the features are available, and all the features we can grant the permissions through profiles. Second one, permission set. What do you mean by permission set? Permission sets are an extension for profile. That means whatever the profile level permissions we have granted to the users, so now from that profile, so for a few specific users, if we want to grant some additional permissions, then only we can use the help of permission set. So permission sets are the superset, profile is the subset. Now, in this case here, you can now here in this case, through permission set, we can grant same permissions like as profiles, except the two permissions, login IP ranges, login hours. Except these two, everything we can able to grant through permission sets. Next, there is the first difference. Second one, for one user, we can assign only one profile. But for one user, we can assign multiple permission sets. This is the second difference here. Third one. What is the third difference? Any differences? Upon creating a user, profile is mandatory or optional? Mandatory. Upon creating a user, permission set is mandatory or optional? Optional.
It's an
Okay, permission
optional.
set is optional here. Okay, now, so now here in this case, whenever we are creating a user record, profile is mandatory, but the permission sets are not mandatory here. Permission sets we can assign later also. But till now, we have created the users, but we haven't created any permission sets as of now. We have created the profile. Without the profile, we can't add the users to the Salesforce app. But without the permission sets, we can create the users also. The facility is available here. Now, so now here in this case, user to profile we have one to one, profile to user we have one to many. But in this case, user to permission sets we are having many to many relation where we have a junction object called as permission set assignment. Okay, now. So now here in this case, how can we create that permission sets? Now let me show you with the practical use case. Understood the concept over here? Now. So now whenever if you want to go beyond the profile level permissions, then we have the extension called as permission sets. That's what here in Salesforce, always we have to grant very basic level of permissions initially and then keep on we can able to extend them. Because in Salesforce, we have the facility to extend the permissions, but we don't have the permissions to decrease the permissions to the people over here. Okay? Now, make a note of this one. Permission sets. Permission set contains a collection of permissions. Permission set contains a collection of permissions which can be assigned to one or more users within the organization. By using permission sets, we can grant all the permissions like as profile, but except the two permissions, login IP ranges and login hours. Login IP ranges and login hours. Permission sets are used to extend the profile level permissions to the specific users. Now, once a permission set has been configured, we can assign this permission set or we can assign it to one or more users. And a user can be associated with one or more permission sets. That is, between user and permission set object, we have many-to-many relationship. So which has been implemented by using a junction object called as permission set assignment. Permission set assignment. We can create multiple permission sets within an organization. All the permission sets information will get stored in permission set object. Permission set is a standard object in Salesforce in which all the permission sets information will get resides. Then up to this first 3 points. While creating a user, permission sets are not mandatory. Not mandatory. Later also we can able to assign. Then how can we create the permission sets? While creating the permission sets, we have to follow the below steps. As a step 1, create a permission set with the required permissions. And as a step 2, assign the permission set to the required users. Now we have to assign. To create that, we have to follow the steps. Click on Setup menu. Search for the option Permission Sets in Quick Find box. Click on New button. Enter the permission set details. Enable the required permissions. For example, object level, application level, field level, etc. Click on Save button. Then we have to assign the permission set to the users. Up to this one done, everyone? Done up to this part? Now, in order to assign the permission set, click on Setup menu, search for the option Users in Quick Find box. Click on the required username to assign the permission set. Click on the required username. For example, development user. Go to the profile cell. Go to the profile name. Go to the user's profile, or simply we can specify that user. Go to the detail page of the record. Go to the permission set assignment section. Click on Add button. Select the required permission sets to assign by using Add or Remove buttons. And then click on Save button. This is the navigation we used to follow in order to create and to assign the permission sets to the users.
Sir, in example, yeah, I have my manager and the user, like test user is my is reporting to the manager, and I assign the same profile to both the users. Then both the users will have the same access. Hello.
For me, the voice is not audible.
No,
Also,
everyone facing the same thing.
okay, fine.
Firoz,
Sir,
are you there?
Done with these
See,
points?
sir, can you please give the points with respect to differences between profile and role
You
and
have to prepare, madam.
difference? Huh?
You have to prepare. Okay, already you
And
have all the
differences.
information in profile and then profile permission sets as well. Just you have to make a
Okay,
note of that.
and
Okay, points okay, list wise. Okay, differences.
yeah, differences. And difference between role and profile also, if you can give some points.
Yeah, already how we have discussed, right? During the
Yeah, but
profiles and the roles
you have,
concept, already have explained that concept.
yes, you explained it, but you have not given points. So I just, uh, if you can give some points and
I will
all,
try to
then
include. Okay, I will try to include those points.
yeah, thank you. And sir, one more question I had is now the profile, I give the same profile with the same access level and all to one profile wherein it has managers and users. Then if I want to restrict it, then I have to again assign a permission set to the manager.
Yes, right. To grant the additional permissions to the manager, we have to assign permission sets.
Okay, okay.
Clear up to this one? Now. So now let's see how can we create the permission set and how can we assign this permission set to the users. Now let's see with the practical use case. I'm going to my Salesforce org now. So in my org, we have 3 users are available who are associated with the same profile. Like we are having a profile called as CIS platform profile. The same profile I have assigned to 3 users. Like the customer user, manager user, testing user. These 3 people are having the same profile. Now, in this profile, whatever the permissions I'm going to grant, the same permissions will be applicable to all these 3 people over there. Now, let me go to this profile now. I'm going to this profile, CIS platform profile. Click on edit button. Now, so now I'm granting some permissions on object level here. For example, I'm granting the permissions on hiring manager object, read, create, and then I'm granting only these 2. Position object, okay, read and create here. Okay, read and create. So I'm granting this profile level permission. So I'm granting the permissions on hiring manager object with read and create, and the position object permissions are also read and create. Now, so these are the 2 permissions we have granted here. Hiring manager read create, position also read create. Now my requirement is, for one specific user, I want to grant edit and delete permissions also on these 2 objects. On these 2 objects, I want to grant edit and delete permissions also. Now let's see how can we do that. So now currently I'm granting the permissions inside the profile level. So whatever the 2 permissions I have granted in this profile level, the same permissions will be applicable to all the 3 users. Customer user, manager user, testing user, these 3 people will be getting read and create permission on hiring manager, read and create permission on position object. Because same profile we have assigned to all these three people. So whatever the permissions I have granted in the profile level, these permissions will be applicable to all the three users as well. Now let me check it out. I'm going to the users now. Log into the customer user. Now he is having the access on hiring manager object. Let's see. I'm going to be creating a new record. Click on new button to create a new hiring manager record. Hiring manager name, I'm giving the name as, for example, some Kishore Kumar. Location as some Kochi. Designation, okay, senior HR executive, employment type, some permanent. Current CTC, some 12 lakhs. Contact number, I'm giving some value. Email ID, I'm giving the name as some Kishore dot Kumar at the rate some gmail.com. Now I'm creating the record. Now who is the owner of this record right now? Because the currently logged in user is customer user. Who is the owner of this record right now? User customer is the owner. Now tell me, will this user is having any edit permission and delete permission over here? No. Now when you go to this button here, we don't have any pick list button over here in order to select the option edit and delete. You don't have edit permission, you don't have delete permission over here. Just you can able to create the record, you can see the record, that's it. You can't modify, you can't delete. Now, let's come out from this user account. Let's go to the second user. Who is that second user? Manager user. Log into the manager user. Let's verify what kind of permissions he is having right now on hiring manager. Go to the hiring manager object. Now, in this object here, once you click on this new button, I'm creating a new hiring manager record. Like I'm giving the name as, for example, some Praveen Kumar. Designation HR manager. Location is Chennai. And then I'm giving the employment type as permanent. Current CTC is some 20 lakhs. Contact number, I'm giving some value. Email ID, praveen.kumar at the rate some gmail.com. Click on save button. Now this user also the same. He don't have any permissions on edit and to delete. We don't have this pick list control to select the edit button and the delete button because he don't have those permissions. He is also having the same permissions. Now let's go back to the third user who is associated with the same profile, that is testing user. Log into the testing user now. Go to the hiring manager object. Now this user also will be getting the same permission. Click on new. I'm giving the name as some Sunil Kumar. Location some Delhi. Designation HR executive and then employment type as contract. Current CTC 10 lakhs. Contact number, I'm giving some value. Email ID sunil.k@some gmail.com. Now click on save. This user is also having the same permission. This user also don't have edit permission, delete permission, just he is having read and create permissions right now. Now I want to grant the permissions here. So inside the profile level, whatever the permissions we have granted, same permissions will be getting applicable to all the associated users. Now fine. Now my requirement is, for example, now my requirement is, here we are having this users. We have testing user, manager user, and the customer user. Well, all these three people, we have assigned the same profile. Okay, we have assigned same profile. Inside this profile, we have assigned the permissions on hiring manager object, which is read and the create. Now all the three people are getting same read and create permission. For this user also, testing user also read and create permission, manager user also read and create permission, customer user also read and create permission. Now my requirement is, additionally for this manager user, I want to grant edit permission and the delete permission. Okay, for the manager user, I want to grant edit permission and the delete permission on hiring manager object and positions object also. In both the objects, I want to grant this permission. Then how can we create a permission set? How to extend these permissions to the people? Now let's see. Now I'm creating a new permission set. Now go to that administrator's account. Let's go to the setup menu. Search for the option permission sets. Click on permission sets. Now click on new button to create a new permission set. I'm giving the permission set name right now. I want to indicate the permission set name, grant, edit and delete access on HR and position objects. I'm giving this permission set name. Give the description also so that you can understand what kind of permissions that you have enabled inside this permission set. Now, we are giving the permission set name as grant, edit and delete access on HR and position objects. Click on save button. Now your permission set will be getting created. Now in this permission set, enable the permissions whatever you want. We can grant application level permissions, connected app permissions, object level permissions, field level permissions, and then we can able to grant Apex classes, Visual Force pages, external data sources, flows, named credentials, custom permissions, metadata types, custom settings, portability level permissions. Okay, all these things we can able to grant. Same like as your profile. Okay, same like as your profile here. Now, let's go to object settings. That means object level permissions. Go to the object level permissions, then object related. Which object permissions you would like to grant? It is populating all the Salesforce objects available inside this org, including standard, including custom. All the object names will be getting populated over here, including standard, including custom. All the object names will be populated. Now select that object, that is hiring manager. It is a hiring manager object. So now on what object you want to grant the permission? Hiring manager and position. Click on hiring manager's tab. Now select the permission here. Click on edit button. Click on edit button. Now I would like to grant the permission of edit permission, delete permission here. Okay, edit and delete permission. Suppose if you want to grant the permissions on any specific fields, then we can able to grant the permissions also over here. Then we can able to grant the permission. Now, in this case, employment type, if you want to grant the permission, then we can grant the permission also over here. Read access and edit access both for these people. Now, depends upon the requirement, we can do that. So now here in this case, we are going to be granting edit permission and the delete permission inside this profile level. This for inside the permission set for hiring manager object. Click on save. Next, the second object, position. Go to this object permissions over here, object settings. Click on the pick list control. Now we can able to select the permission set type, that will be object settings. Select the second object over here. That will be position object. Click on Positions tab. Click on Edit. I want to grant both edit and delete permission on this position object also. So I'm selecting this permission. Click on Save. Like that, here we can grant the permissions on the required objects, required features also. If you want to grant the permissions on some applications, then we can grant. Go to this permission set overview. Go to that application permissions. What applications you want to make it visible here? We can decide. Depends upon the requirement. We can able to grant the permissions on various application related permissions also over here, which has been given by Salesforce. Now let's see. Assigned apps. Here we can decide that what applications you would like to grant. If there is any packages has been installed, then those packages also will be visible. These are the various applications are available here. Inside my Salesforce Arc. What application permissions you would like to assign, that we can decide. Now, so that within a single permission set, we can grant the permissions related to applications, objects, fields, features, everything we can able to grant the permissions as well. Now, so once we are done with this permission set creation, we don't have any save button. It will be having automatically save option. Now let's assign this permission set to the users. Go to the users, click on users. To which user you would like to assign the permission set? To the manager user. Don't click on edit button. Click on manage user name. Go to that user record. When you come down, you will be having a section called as permission set assignments section. There is a section called as permission sets assignments section. Now assign that permission set to the user which you would like to grant the permissions. Click on edit assignments. Now I would like to select that permission set which I have created just now. This is a permission set just now we have created. Grant, edit and delete access on HR object. Select this permission set. If you want to grant one more permission set, then we can assign multiple also here. Okay, that facility is available. Now, this is the only permission set I would like to assign to the user now. Click on save. Now it is indicating this. Now here it is indicating for this particular user, this is a permission set we have assigned. Okay, clear? Now, so now for example, if a user is accessing some features additionally, then we have to go to the user, check inside the profile level. In the profile level, if the permission is not granted here, still he is able to access the new application, then come to the permission sets over here. What permission sets has been assigned to the user? Because of maybe a permission set is getting access on this application also additionally. Okay. Now let's go to that users. Let's have the testing process. Click on users. I'm logging to the customer user now. Go to the hiring manager object. Open the record which we have created, like some Kishore Kumar. Now this user is still having read and edit access only. Sorry, read and create variations only. No edit, no delete. Now log out from this user account. Check with the testing user now. Log into the testing user. Open a hiring manager record. Open the record. Praveen Kumar. He is also having same read and create permission. Log out from this. Now go to the manager user. Go to the hiring manager object. Open the record Sunil Kumar. Now what permissions he is having right now? Now this permission, edit permission, delete permission, both are available here. So we can change the location from Delhi to some Gujarat. Now the record has been updated successfully. So he can able to modify the record, he can able to delete the record also. You will be getting this buttons will be available. Edit button, delete button also will be available. Okay. So because here, even though all the three people are belongs to the same profile, but for few people, if we want to grant some additional permissions, then we can go with the help of permission sets. If we want to grant the permissions to that all the people, go with the profile level permission. If you want to grant that additional permission only some specific users, then go with permission sets. Okay, depends upon the requirement. We need to choose whether we can go with profile level or permission set level here. Okay, clear? So this is the concept of permission sets as part of your Salesforce org. So not only one, multiple permission sets also we can able to configure. Okay, next. Now let me show you one small option over here. There is an option called as grant access using hierarchies. Then what do you mean by this grant access using hierarchies option here? When you go to the OWD, there you will be having that option. There is a checkbox grant access using hierarchies. Now, let's see for example here. What is that grant access using hierarchies indicates? Now let me explain. For example, assume that we are having this users. This is the role hierarchy that we have assigned to the users. Now, as part of this user development user, whenever the development user creates a record will be visible to his manager automatically by default because of the role hierarchy. But now, I don't want to make my record to be visible even to my manager also. The record should be visible only to me. Except me, other people can't access, even my manager also. Because it's my personal record. It's a confidential data is available. So I don't want to make my records to be visible even to a manager also. Even though we are having a specific role hierarchy, my record should not be visible even to my manager also. In that case, just we can able to unselect that checkbox, grant access using hierarchies. Okay, that option is available. So now, whenever if that grant access hierarchies option is selected, it will grant the permission on your records to your managers automatically based on role hierarchy. If I'm unselecting the checkbox, then your record will not be visible even to your manager also. So we need to unselect the checkbox. But that will be unselected only for custom objects, not for standard. Standard object requires those permissions. That means standard objects requires the CRM functionalities. In CRM, your manager can monitor with the progress of your work also. For that reason, we can't unselect the checkboxes for standard objects. Only for custom objects, we can able to unselect them. Now let me show you. Let's go to the setup menu. Go to that sharing settings. Now let's see, when you go to this organization wide defaults, here we have a checkbox called as grant access using hierarchies. Now this checkbox is indicating whenever you are creating a record inside your object, so now this record should be visible to your manager or not. That will be indicating by this checkbox grant access using hierarchies. Based on the role hierarchy, your record will be visible to the people or not. That has been indicated by this checkbox. Now, if you want to unselect these checkboxes here, just you can click on edit button. When you go to this grant access using hierarchies checkbox has been disabled for all the standard objects. It has been disabled. We can't unselect the checkbox over here. But whatever the custom objects that we have, for these custom objects, we can unselect it. These are the 4 custom objects that we have. For these custom objects, we can unselect these checkboxes. For the standard objects, grant access using hierarchy option, we can't unselect. Compulsorily in CRM application, your records will be visible to your manager automatically. As part of your custom application, as part of your custom object, that you can decide you want to make it visible to your manager or not. That it's your choice. Based on the business needs, we can configure that by using this checkbox. Okay? Understood the concept now?
Sir, so you mean that for a standard object, the role hierarchy is by default implemented?
Right.
Okay.
Clear up to this one? Now, these are the various features are available here in security. Now, let's come to the climax part here in security concept here. So now, since last almost 9 to 10 days, we are spending the complete time on the security. In the interview point of view, it's a common question. Could you please describe about Salesforce security model? It's a common question. They will ask you to explain the Salesforce security features. Then what can I explain? You want me to give that all these points which we have discussed till now? You want me to explain all the 72 features that are Salesforce? No. So now we need to give that information in short format here. Now, as part of Salesforce, Salesforce provides the security in 5 levels. Salesforce provides 5 levels of security here. Okay. If anybody asks a question in the interview point of view, could you please describe or explain about Salesforce security model? How Salesforce is granting the security and the features? Then you can say Salesforce provides 5 levels of security. First one, system level security. Second one, application level security. Third one, object level security. Fourth one, field level security. Last one, record level security. These are the 5 levels are available here. Now, Salesforce security model. Salesforce provides 5 levels of security. System level security, application level security, object level security, field level security, and the record level security. Record level security. System level, application level, object level, field level, and the record level. These are the 5 levels of security that Salesforce offers. Now tell me how to grant each level of security now. System level security will be granted through what? That means we can restrict which users can access my application, during what timings they can access, from which location they can access, that we can control. Now that means Salesforce system can be accessible from which location and from during which timings that we can control. For that one we can do with the help of login IP ranges and login hours. And then SSO. SSO means single sign-on. Single sign-on. SSO means single sign-on. Basically, it's an integration feature. Like by using your Gmail account, you are logging into Facebook account also. By using Gmail username and password, you are logging into Instagram also. and into your Salesforce account also. That means one single username and the password we can use to connect to multiple systems also. That is called a single sign-on. Now, so the system level security can be done with the help of login IP ranges, login hours, and then single sign-on. Now tell me, application level security will be granting through what? Profiles and permission sets, right? Because what applications the user can access, that we can decide from profile level, permission set level here. Profiles and permission sets. Now, inside the profile, we can decide what applications the user can access. Through permission set also, we can specify what applications the user can access. Next, object level security. How to grant the permissions on object level. What objects the user can access, what operations the user can perform on each object, how can we decide, where we can specify. Profiles, okay, right? Today also we have discussed. Permission set. Permission sets. Not OWD. OWD is record level. Okay? No. Role hierarchy, what it will do? It will grant the access on your records to other people. Okay? So now what objects the user can access, that we can control through object profile level or permission set level. Next, fields. Field level security can be granted through what? Okay, permission sets and profiles. Profiles and the permission sets. Profiles and permission set. Field level security can be done with the help of profile and the permission set. Next, record level security. OWD, okay. Role hierarchy. Now sharing settings, that means manual sharing, automated sharing and everything. Sorry? Manual sharing, that is comes under sharing settings. Manual, automation, Apex sharing, everything comes under sharing settings. Next. Profiles, how? How?
If the object itself is not
Where?
visible to the user, then how can the record is accessible to the user? With profile, we can
No.
control which object is visible and which not for the user.
Now, record level security. OWD, role hierarchy, sharing rules, not queues. I want to make my records to be visible to the other people. I will give the clue. Profiles. Permission sets also. Two checkboxes. Two checkboxes.
View all and modify all.
View all and modify all.
Modify
Right.
all.
View all and the modify all permission. That's what here we can specify profile level also. Through profile also we can grant. Profile and then permission sets. Okay. This is a record level security here. So it's a common question in every interview. Could you please describe about Salesforce security model? Then just we can explain. Salesforce provides 5 levels of security in our Salesforce are first one, okay, system level security, and then application level security, and then object level, and the field level, and the record level. That's it. Stop that. Don't give this remaining information. Then they will raise a question, how can we grant the permissions on the objects? How can we achieve object level permissions? Then we can specify that, okay, through profiles and permission set. Just click over. Then they will raise a question. So what is profile? What is permission set? Then we can explain that here. What is the difference between profile and permission sets? When should we go for profile? When should we go for the permission set? They will be raising the question. Just give what is the question. Based on the question, just give the answer within short form. Don't give elaborated manner here, because if I'm giving complete information, he will talk. He will be strong in this topic here. He will go to some different topic. So let them ask some more questions on the same topic here, so that we can answer them. Okay, so that slowly we need to capture the interview person to our side, because already he has collected some list of questions from the Google and from the different websites. He will try to force this question on you. But as a candidate, so we need to apply some tricks. We need to capture the candidate, that means interview person, to our side. So whenever he is asking for a question, give the information, give the answer. In that answer, introduce a small new word. Then he will focus on that point here. What is this one? Then give the answer further. In that answer, introduce one more new word. Then he will focus on that point. What is that one? Like that, slowly capture the person to our side here. Okay, so this is one of the trick we need to apply in the interview point of view. Okay, don't give the complete information in the first question itself. So he will thought of, okay, he's having very strong knowledge in this topic. He will go to some different topic over there. In that topic, definitely will get stuck up. There is a problem here. Because of that, he will be losing some opportunities. Okay, don't give much information to the people in the interview point of view. Just give the information in short form. Now, next one. As part of security, so still there are 2 features are left. We'll see in tomorrow's session. Like we are having email to case, auto response rules, and the escalation rules. These features are left. Tomorrow we are going to be discussing on these features over here, so that we can complete this security concept.
Sir, how about validation rules?
Those will be next topics, madam. Okay, we are
Okay,
completing
sir,
security concept here. Remaining topics we'll see one by one.
okay, how, sir, the security model, you now system level security, you can also, you set it using profiles only, right? Login IP ranges,
Sorry?
login hours and SSO, correct?
Those are the options. Those are the options. Yes, inside the profile level, we have configured login IP ranges and login hours.
So we can say that secure Salesforce security model
No,
itself is handled by
no.
only profiles and roles.
No. See, because if I'm giving profile, it will be coming into all objects and everything. So just we have to explain for interacting with the system. To log into the system, what features are available? Those features are login IP ranges and login hours.
Okay. But you handle these
No.
things using profile. So mostly security model is handled by
Done
mostly
with this?
profile and system.
Yes, tell me.
Yes, madam. Sir.
Okay, in OWD we are having public read write. Okay. See, always here, I got your point. So now inside the profile level, okay, you have given that full permission, public read write permission. That means full permissions are available in OWD area. Now inside the profile level, okay, if you are having that only, okay, create and the read permissions are available here. In that case, always it is going to be considering that higher level permissions, whatever we have granted. That means in the OWD level, full permissions are available, that will be applicable. Suppose for example, assume that. Suppose for example, in the OWD, I have granted the permission of only private. In the profile level, I have granted view all and modify all permission. In that case here, always it will be giving more importance to profile level. So profile level permissions will override OWD. Permission set will override profile level permission. This is the hierarchy. Okay, so the OWD permissions will be overriding by profile. Profile level permissions will be overriding by permission set. So in Salesforce, there is a possibility to keep on extend the permissions. So inside that OWD grant very basic level of access. Keep on, we can extend the permissions by using profile permission set like that. Suppose inside the permissions, inside the OWD, if you are granting the full permissions, when you try to reduce the permission through profiles and permission sets, it's not possible. That's what here, OWD level, just to grant very basic permissions and keep on, we can extend them through profiles and permission sets, we can able to extend it. There is a possibility here. Okay.
Sir, sharing
So do
like
the
the share
practice on these
button.
features over here. Okay, in tomorrow's session, we'll see the remaining 3 features so that we can complete the security concept.
Sir,
Okay.
the share button, the share